It's a big day for the University of Houston as hundreds of students join President and Chancellor Renu Khator at the state capitol seeking more school funding from the state. I'm Jessica Moreno, and this is an At UH exclusive. The drive to Austin is a long one, but for UH students making a case for increased funding, it was well worth the trip. Reporting from the Capitol, Brittany Taylor brings you these exclusive interviews. So we're inside the Capitol, and right now it's halfway through the day after students have been advocating towards Senate. So we're here talking to the SGA president, Charles Haston. So why is this day important to students, and why is it important that SGA members have gathered different students from different programs to come out and advocate towards the senators?
Yeah, it's extremely important. So, it's one thing for President Khator and members of our staff coming here every single day or every week during the legislative session speaking to our elected representatives, but there's nothing as powerful as students who actually represent the people that actually go to the institution to come and speak to their elected representatives, but how important it is to fund the necessary things that the University of Houston needs. We need tuition revenue bonds, we need a new pharmacy building, we need clarification on Hazelwood and funding for Hazelwood. It's really important that students actually represent their voice to our elected representatives throughout this process.
The Texas legislative session began on January 13th, and legislators are working around the clock to determine the state's budget.
I'm here every week, and I can plead and I can beg and I can show my list, but the passion that the students bring is just different. It tells a different story, so this is going to make a huge difference. All I want to see is that the University of Houston, its potential, its promise is in everybody's thought process as they make very important decisions for our state.
Khator is recommending the legislature reauthorize the Higher Education Fund for the next 10 years with a 50% increase due to its tremendous growth.
U of H has a critical role to play not just in Houston, but in Texas. And that's a growing understanding across the legislature. Of course, I'm from Houston, so easier for me. But I'd say that is a widespread thought, that you can't just count on one or two universities for a state the size of Texas.
Tuition revenue bond projects are also at the top of the list to continue to expand facilities in order to keep up with the increasing enrollment.
If we had tuition revenue bonds, then we would be able to issue those bonds, and they would be paid for. The coupons on those bonds would be paid for by the revenues that are made up from the tuition, and that would allow the University of Houston to build state-of-the-art infrastructures, buildings, just improve on the programs that we already have, and that would be the source of funding is through those bonds.
The deadline for filing bills and joint resolutions is Friday, March 13th. However, the legislative session ends on Monday, June 1st. This is Jessica Moreno with your At UH exclusive.